Well, hello there, challengees, and welcome to the Always Better Challenge Show, the show designed to help you take steps today for a better and happier tomorrow. I am your humble host, Joe Bedford. And before we get started, as always, first of all, I would like to remind you to please subscribe to the show. If you've not done so already, you can click below. Please share the show with friends and colleagues. Feel free to sign up for our free daily motivational emails at our website. That's abetterchallenge.com, abetterchallenge.com. Please like the video down below. Click the little thumbs up if you like the video. And feel free to leave your comments below. Two other things, if you would like to support the show, please consider visiting the website patreon.com/ABC show. That's linked up below as well. And if you would like to click the very first link below, that's if you would like to receive a free, no obligation 11-page resource guide entitled The 5 Steps You Can Take Today to Become a Better You. And, excuse me, by the way, one other thing that I've been wanting to mention before we get started, I've been meaning to mention this and keep forgetting, because I'm aware that this might be confusing, depending on how you are experiencing the show. The show is available in two different forms. It is on YouTube as a video program, and it is also available on iTunes and other podcast aggregators as an audio-only podcast. It's the same show. I just take the audio from the YouTube show and put that up as an audio podcast. I mention that because I'm trying to keep that in mind when I do the show and when I say, viewers, and I try to say, or listeners, and that's why I do that. So I just wanted to make you aware of that. And if you're watching, or I should say experiencing the show on one of these avenues, just be aware that there is another one available to you, and you can check that out as well if you would like. Well, today's show is a very unusual one. First of all, because I didn't write it. And second of all, because it's a type of show that I've only done once before. Those of you who've been watching and listening to the show, who saw or listened to my 50th birthday episode where I shared my 50 life lessons that I've learned over my 50 years on planet Earth. Well, today's show is very similar in that it is 50 tricks of life, so it's another list of 50. But this one's not mine. This list comes from Yuri Kruman. Yuri is from New York City. He is a millennial transformation strategist. He is a Fortune 500 personal development consultant. He's a contributor to Forbes, a speaker, an author, startup advisor, and he is also the CEO of MasterTheTalk.com. So that's Yuri Kruman. He wrote this list of his 50 tricks of life. I reached out to him and asked if it would be all right if I featured those on an episode of the program, and Yuri was gracious enough to give permission for that. So thank you very much, Yuri. And in return, I'm asking all of my viewers to please consider checking out Yuri's website, which again is MasterTheTalk.com. He is, as I said, a startup advisor and Fortune 500 personal development consultant. So without further ado, we're going to jump into the list, and this may be a shorter episode than normal. I'm just going to read the list. I may have some comments on some of them, but I'm thinking probably not all of them, so we will just go. So, number 1 on Yuri's list, and I love this one. The morning is wiser than the night. Today may have looked awful, but tomorrow is another day. I think that's such great advice. And how often is that the case when, you've had a tough day and at night you're in a, the mood has got you down a little bit, but a good night's sleep really does cure a lot of things. And so I do think that is great advice, which goes right in with number 2. Sleep is the best medicine. Also very appropriate given the topic of yesterday's program on sleep and how it is so important to us. Number 3, never keep a grudge overnight. Talk it out before you sleep. I've heard this advice, well, I've heard it in a serious way and also in a funny way. The serious way is, never go to bed angry. And then the funny way I heard is, it's like, never go to bed angry. Stay up and fight. But so this is, kind of along those lines. Talk it out before you go to sleep. Number 4, I could not agree with more. Listen much more than you speak. When you do speak, make it count. What's the old saying about, we have two ears and one mouth for a reason? We should be listening twice as often as we're speaking. Number 5, meditate on what's important and valuable in your life every single morning. I definitely do that. Of course, my dear wife Judy is at the top of my list always, and that helps, it just sets the tone for the day, helps remind me why I'm doing what I'm doing, and also, helps me to navigate the troubles and the challenges that I experience. It's just a perspective. I've got so much to be grateful for, and I'm certainly don't want to complain about the few little difficulties that I may encounter. Number 6, wake up early and never waste the morning, the most productive time. I could not agree with this one more. Some folks may not agree. They may say, I'm not a morning person, or I'm not more productive in the morning. All I can tell you is I am. I know that's my best shot when I'm well rested, and I just love to come out of the gates, firing on all cylinders. And I wake up, I generally wake up at 4 a.m., so I'd say I wake up earlier than almost everybody watching. You don't necessarily have to get up that early, but it works great for me. Again, that's all I can tell you. And it's just a habit. It's once you get the habit, it's not hard to get up that early. Number 7, judge people favorably. Yourself first. I think that one speaks for itself quite well. Number 8, forgive easily. Forget slowly. Again, start with yourself. I love this one because we should forgive easily, but I do like the idea of, we forgive, but we don't want to forget the lessons that we've learned. We don't want to forget the information that we've learned. So I think that's great advice. Number 9, one that I may need to read twice for myself because I struggle with this sometimes. I've gotten so much better, but I do still, it's something I know to work on. Be slow to anger. Walk away, walk it off. Those are such wise words. So much better to walk away and walk it off than to say or do something that you'll regret. Number 10, as a hack drummer, I couldn't certainly agree with this one more. Music changes your mood powerfully and quickly, better than any drug. And I do try to have music going as often as possible in the home, even when I'm working, and definitely for other things too, when I'm trying to get ready for sleep, and love the music. Number 11, another great one. You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. Choose very carefully. Yuri's not the first one to say this, but it's great advice. I've heard it elaborated on that your income is going to tend to be the average of the income of the 5 people that you spend the most time with. Your health is going to be the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with, and so forth. So great advice there, and something definitely to keep in mind. Number 12, make sure to take a walk every single day. As I've said a gazillion times, move your body every chance you get. And exercise being so important. Number 13, make experiencing nature a part of your everyday routine. Yes, go outside, experience nature, breathe, get around trees. Trees put out oxygen for us, right? So get out there and soak it up. Number 14, find a way to live in the moment. Always stop to smell those roses. Yes, we want to focus on work when we're focused on work, but we want to take our refresh time as well. Also very important. Number 15, another great one. Understand and automate your finances as much as possible, no matter how bad your situation looks. This is the biggest source of stress in life for couples, and I believe that. And I've done an episode on money management in the past, and there's going to be more of that in the future for sure. So stay tuned for that. Number 16, accept the people around you as they are today and don't try to change them. If they're no good to you, walk away. I almost want to read that one twice for myself. Maybe another way to put this, or maybe an addendum to this advice, and it's advice that, and I'm going to get myself in trouble here, maybe, but I have learned, and I do my best to not give unsolicited advice. Now you might say, well, I do that on this show. Well, that's different. You tuned in. It's my show. You have to listen. But as far as, seeing people in my life that I think are making mistakes, unless they ask me, I do my best to keep my mouth shut about it. They didn't ask for my opinion. I'm not going to give it. So number 17, your actions are the best show and tell. Don't tell me, show me how it's done. Couldn't agree with that more. Number 18, always see the glass as half full, even if it looks empty. Perception is reality. Does this sound like a topic that we visited on the show before? The importance of being optimistic, the importance of mindset, and that the only limitations are the ones that we put on ourselves in our mind. Number 19, deal head on with your childhood baggage ASAP. Talk it out with family and friends. Get a therapist. Just stop letting it mess up your adult life. I think that says it all, and I think that is very, 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 very wise advice. Number 20, find what role you want to play in people's lives based on your personality, and you'll get much closer to your dream job. Speaks for itself. Good advice. Number 21, stop letting others define who you are. Hang out with people that enrich your life emotionally, spiritually, intellectually, and yes, financially, and who root for you to succeed. Get rid of all the others. Sound advice. Number 22, always take the long view in life. Have I told you that before? Be patient. The forest is never just the trees. Markets crash and markets rebound. Today's setbacks aren't deadly. With the right attitude, you'll get over them and then some. Number 23, fill every free moment with something useful. Reading, writing, learning, laughing, or helping someone. Number 24, strive to leave no person you meet worse off for having met you. Do your best to contribute something useful to the life of each person you encounter. That one could almost be a life mission statement, couldn't it? I think so. Number 25, clean up your mess. If you wait, it will become a bigger mess that takes longer to clean. I love this one because this could be in so many areas of our life. If you've got a mess, face it, fix it. Number 26. Oh gosh, can I make this on a poster and post it on the front of my house? I would like to. Never engage in useless debates, online or in person. Avoid politics, religion, optical illusions, the news. I do my best to live by that, and I feel that my life is much happier and less stressful as a result. Enough said. Number 27. Oh, some people are going to shiver and shake when they hear this one. Unplug, including myself actually. Unplug from all your devices and work at least one day a week. Take a digital Sabbath. I'm going to have to think about that one. That would be tough. Probably beneficial, but tough. Number 28. Choose very carefully what you consume. Oh my gosh, I couldn't agree with this one more. Starting with the ingredients in your food and drink. Moving on to music, film, art, books, etc. Garbage in always means garbage out. Gosh, I could not agree with this one more. This is something that I try to do and something that I get a little teased about at times. I'm very careful about what movies I watch. I'm very careful about what TV shows I watch. My family will tell you. My wife will tell you. And it's because of this. It's like I don't like putting bad stuff in my head. I don't. Number 29, travel every chance you get. even if it's just out of town to see a new place. How true is that? How good a refresh is that, and how nice it is to get a fresh perspective. Number 30, always value experiences over goods. The former expands your mind, and the latter narrows it. And number 31, get rid of all the clutter in your house and in your life. It keeps you tied to the past, whereas you should be living in the present and focus on a better future. Keep what you accumulate to a minimum. I'm going to definitely do a show about this in the future. This is advice that I could not agree with more. This is advice that I have implemented in my own life. This is advice that has made my life much happier and less stressful and wonderful. I know a lot of folks, resist the idea of minimalism or paring down, but it's something that for me, has been a great thing. Number 32, plant a few new seeds every day. Brainstorm and write down 10 new business ideas, or 10 ideas of any kind for your life. Reach out to a new person. Reconnect with people you haven't spoken to in ages. Great advice. Number 33, I love this one. Work to improve 1% on important personal traits each day. Is that not what this show is about? Getting a little better and a little happier each day. And 1% doesn't sound like much, but in 100 days, that's 100%, isn't it? And can you do 1%? 1% sounds doable, doesn't it? Love it. Move the ball down the field. How many times have I said that? Number 34, do something well each day, even if it's just brushing your teeth on a horrible, no good day. Number 35, treat yourself once in a while. Celebrate small wins. This is one I don't probably do as much as I should. Number 36, take the stairs. Absolutely take the stairs. Number 37, I try to keep the show G-rated, so I'm going to clean this one up a little bit, Yuri. Hope that's okay. Be nice to jerks. They need it more than you. I love that. Be the bigger person. Be the bigger person. Number 38, does this sound like my preaching? Your health should be your first priority. Don't abuse the privilege of health until it's too late. Hear that. Number 39, again, love this. Prioritize your loved ones above everyone else. Otherwise, you'll have no loved ones around soon. Number 40, save at least 6 to 9 months' salary just in case. Very sound advice and great stress reducer. Number 41, find natural light each day. If there's no sun, make sure your light bulbs mimic natural light well at home, work, and elsewhere. And I'll actually, I think, link this in the show notes below. I'm kind of going off on a little bit of a tangent here, but I've got a light lamp, light bank. I'm not sure what to call it, but it's blue light, and I use that especially in the winter, especially in the morning. I do struggle to keep a good mood in the winter, more so in the summer. And I do think that this blue light lamp helps me, and so I do use that most every day in the winter. Don't use it so much in the summer, but definitely in the winter, especially when on the gray days. Lost my place. Number 42. Replace refined carbs with dried fruits and nuts in the house and the office. Keep the refined carbs out of both. That's great advice, and I love the way Yuri gives us a healthy alternative that works great, and it's a great snack, and it's an enjoyable snack. So do that. Get rid of the sugar, get rid of the enriched flour, and do nuts and fruit instead. Love it. Number 43, find and express your gratitude to people who are good to you and help you in life. Express gratitude to the Almighty in whichever way you can. And I would even take this one a step further. give people compliments. I look for excuses, for opportunities to give people compliments. Have you ever gotten a compliment, and doesn't that just sometimes just sort of make your whole day? So why not give that gift to other people? I look for opportunities to do that. I probably could do it even more than I do. Excuse me. Number 44. Keep a journal. Few things are more fulfilling and better for gaining perspective than finding your old impressions years later. I'm going to be honest, this is one I don't do. I've heard of other people suggest journals, and I did try it once, and I don't know, for me personally, I didn't feel like I was getting the benefit for the time put in. So that's just me. So I guess my addendum on Yuri's tip here would be, you still have to think for yourself. If you try something out and you don't think it works for you, then, then leave it. I'm a big believer that nothing is right for everyone. And the other part is, I've still got an open mind. Who knows? Maybe I'll try journaling again sometime, and maybe at that time it'll be the great thing for me. But just being honest, that's not one that I do. Number 45, work on creating good habits and ridding yourself of bad ones. I believe I've talked about that in the past. And again, I don't believe we've done a full episode on habits. And there's a great book, The Power of Habit. I may actually do a book review of that one and a show on that one in the future. Because, yeah, it's so great. It's like putting your success on autopilot if you can establish good habits and you're just doing it automatically without having to think about it almost. Great advice. Number 46, hard work and perseverance always beat genius and talent in the end. So remember that. You may say, I wasn't born with genius or so much talent or whatever. Well, then work your tail off and you can still surpass. You can still lead the pack. I believe that. Number 47, and this one's a long one. Listen carefully. Work hard to understand the many facets and involutions of human psychology. There is no better investment in the long run if you want to do business. Look to understand what motivates different people, what makes them tick, what makes them happy, what they need, and what they want, plus what makes them angry. Armed with this knowledge, you can give them what they want and not what they don't. Charge for it and make money for yourself or your boss. That's the essence of what makes a business successful. Truer words never spoken. Number 48. I struggle with this one, but I do my best to do it. Get up to stretch from your seat at least once every 45 to 60 minutes. I've gotten a lot better at this. I do have a standing desk now, so that helps a lot. And my Garmin watch here that I wear, the 920 XT, it reminds me every hour. Yeah, oh, see, I'm good right now. It hasn't reminded me. The show's not long enough yet. Every hour it reminds me to get up and move. Great advice. Number 49. I like this. Do everything in moderation, especially moderation. Like that. And number 50. Live and let live. Mind your own business before minding the business of others. Great note to end it on. So I hope you enjoyed today's show. Again, as I said, a very different type of show. Again, thanks so much to Yuri for allowing me to do the show on the topic of this list. As always, I'm going to remind you to please subscribe to the show if you haven't already. Share it with a friend. You can visit abetterchallenge.com to sign up for our free emails. That's it for the show. Thanks so much for watching the Always Better Challenge show. I'm your humble host, Joe Bedford, reminding you to go out there and make it happen.